Let me try that again. Good to see you guys jumping in. I am excited to be with you today. This live 3-part training is a labor of love that I've been working on behind the scenes for a couple of years. And I'm very excited to bring this to you live. And I love my live people. I see you're from Tampa, Florida, jumping in. If you're in the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group, I hope you're there because that is where we're live streaming in. I need to know who's commenting. So if you're in the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group, make sure you comment your name too. If you haven't given them permission, Raquel, good to see you. If you haven't been on a training before with me, hi, my name is Dr. Shannon Irvin, and I help coaches scale their business by certifying in the NeuroCoach model and then also teaching you how to grow a coaching business the right way. And I'm going to be breaking that all down for you over the next 3 training sessions. So as I started to map this out, I thought maybe I could bring it to you in a 1-hour session, but there's just an arc, a path that I need to bring you down in order for you to be able to really see this entire Scale with Sprint system, how you can move somebody from cold to sold in 3 days and do it in a way that's authentic and genuine and high level coaching service driven. And that's why I'm saying break up with those old kind of launchy, salesy, pitch mechanisms, and let's launch like coaches, not like marketers. So today we're going to dive deep. I've got a lot for you, and we will have the replay of this up. So if you're watching this on the replay, good to meet you. We are going to have the replay up for you to watch again because there's a lot that you're going to catch. And I really want these 3 days to be as valuable to you as a paid course, because I am going to give you not what theory is and ideas and what other people are regurgitating, but I'm going to actually walk you through the steps of what I use to go from 0 to 6 figures, feel like it wasn't aligned with me, started to shift it, change it, align it with how the brain allows someone to get to a yes. We do that in what we call the sprints, and everything shifted to multiple 7 figures. And I want to share these steps with you because I know when I wasn't at that place, what I wanted more than anything was someone to just share the process, the path, what's working. And in today's day and age, with what's going on in the marketplace around the world right now, tensions, all the thing that's going on, it's this weird duality where with AI, there's faster speed than ever before. There's movement, like things are constantly moving. Yet at the same time, there's this craving for genuineness, real authenticity. Like I want to know, and I always get when I'm doing this, are you really live? Because it's hard to believe that people are actually doing what they're saying they're going to do. And there's this distrust kind of permeating the marketplace. So this is, although AI and speed and generation is moving so fast and information is flowing faster than ever before, the need for intimacy and to be seen and heard in the marketplace is so vital. So I'd like you to start out by letting me know in the chat with the number one reason you're here with me live to learn how to scale your coaching business with sprints. And I want to hear it from you. Are you brand new in the coaching business and wanting to learn how to get clients, grow your income, get continual income, consistent income the right way? Or are you a vet that's been following kind of the launching marketing mechanisms and they work a little bit, but boy, they're hard. You feel a little inauthentic when you go to do the pitch, and you like something that just naturally aligns with who you are. Tell me in the chat. That chat is going to be our lifeline together as we're going through today's training. And like I said, we have 3 sessions with you. Today, I'm breaking down the whole overview and some specific things you need in order to move into this different model, into this better model. Tomorrow, we're going to be breaking down what I call the client arc, the process a client's brain has to go through in order for them to go from not or cold or not sure to a yes on their own, so that when you do give them your client-centric offer, the natural response to it is yes, right? So that's going to be tomorrow. You're going to learn client arc. You're going to learn all the micro decisions that clients make as they're going, so that you can serve them deeply. And that's what I want you to hear from me, is this scaling with sprints method, this system is step-by-step process to help somebody serve them deeply in the decisions they need to make to get to their yes, And then day 3, I'm going to be mapping out with you the entire sprint from start to finish. So you're going to want to be live all 3 days. We've got lots of goodies for you. For those who are live with us for these 3 days, we have, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me jump in. See, I get so happy to be with you. I start moving. So what I'm going to talk about is really your ability to start to crack the 6-figure code, the code to running that successful 6-figure plus 7-figure business with consistent income, and get off the roller coaster of launch, get a big hit of income, and then come back down and then try all over again. And I am going to be talking throughout the day or throughout this training about the real levers that move scale. So I'm not just trying to move you into a decision around cracking this code, but around the 3, and tell me in the chat if this is all right with you. I'm going to teach you the 3 key levers you must pull in order to scale your coaching business. And this is why I get a little riled up about just the marketing angle, because that's one poor one. And we're going to show you a better way to do that now with Scale with Sprints. But there are 3 big levers and they all must be pulled. So permission to be genuine, permission to not hold anything back. Tell me in the chat if I have your permission to really give you the step-by-step, what's going to work, what it's going to take. Yes, actually, you do have to do things in the right order. There are things that can go wrong. I am not going to paint the laptop lifestyle on the beach. I'm going to get you there. But what I want to get you is a real picture of what it really takes to take the steps to scale. If that is what you're here for today, tell me in the chat. If that's okay, if I actually really unpack this for you as I would do to my former self, what I wanted, what I begged for. And that's why I'm doing this. Honestly, from the deepest part of my heart, I'm giving what I'm wanting to give to you over the next 3 days is exactly what I wanted when I didn't have consistent income. And I remember a moment sitting down in my office, drinking a Starbucks, having had just done about 5 launches consistently in a row. And it's not that I didn't get any sales, I did, but boy, I felt wiped out. It didn't feel genuine. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not sure I want to do it like this anymore, because I followed those systems and I felt like I was manipulating. I felt like I'm like, okay, I'm putting all these ingredients in and then I am pivoting and I'm doing this NLP stuff. And I'm like, that doesn't, what we do as coaches is we really serve deeply for people. My heart, I don't know about you, tell me if this is you in the chat, like, I'm put on the planet to help other people, to impact other people, to make a difference in other people's lives. And I want the mechanism. Yes, we have to sell. And we're going to talk about that today. Yes, we have to make offers. I'm going to actually shift that language. We have to make client-centric offers that they can go on a path to say yes to. But I can do that in an authentic way, in a way that's deeply impactful, whether they enroll with me or not. They'll stay in that process of wanting to learn and eventually be in my community and buy. And that's what, as I was sitting there sipping this mocha that day, it was freezing cold here in Dallas. And I was visiting and we were finishing up a launch. And I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be a way that at the end of it, I feel that I gave them a transformation. So write the word transformation if what I just said aligned with you. And I'm going to talk about who this is for and who this is not for really, really quickly, so you're on the right training. This is for coaches, people who are already coaches, and also people who are just getting started. So I'm going to talk about that. These are for people who have been coaching and growing your business. We want to get you moving fast toward that 6-figure barrier and beyond, right? In an authentic, aligned, integrous way, right? Where your selling doesn't feel sleazy, but it feels like service. And we're going to dive into that today. How can we do that, right? Because the marketing methods don't feel that way. Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get an amen? It's like they're long, they're hard, and I feel like I have to become a different person in order to do them. You'll see by the end of these 3 days, as you leave with a sprint mapped out, that it is the highest level of service. It's also for those who want to become coaches. So you'll learn the right way to grow your coaching business so you don't hit your head on that entrepreneur glass ceiling over and over and over again, like I was in that day when I just finished up drinking my mocha, and I'm sitting here thinking, I don't ever want to do that again. I don't want that for you, right? And listen, it's for you if you're driven, you're ambitious, you're a doer, like you're motivated, you already see this big vision, this desire, these things that you want to create. You want to create impact in the world. You want to change your family's destiny. You want to make a path for your children or for your nephews and your nieces that is different than you had before. You know that God put in you the ability to impact, and you just want to do that on a bigger scale. You don't want to keep the best kept secret. And this is what I know about you. You were probably even like me. I know when I was growing up, I was told a lot to stop talking so much. I think that's kind of funny now. To simmer down, like you're a little bit over, you too much. Like you don't need to be quite so driven. Anybody feel this or hear this or have this narrative? This is just the beginning signs of the fact that you are wired to make a difference in the world and wired to coach and wired to impact. We don't have to necessarily be motivated to do. We're not victims. We're not feeling like we're can't figure it out. We might beat ourselves up. In fact, in my wedding day, my husband vowed to take the hammer out of my hand. So we're a little bit hard on ourselves. Can I get an amen on that? Like we're a little bit hard on ourselves. But here's the thing. We are doers. We're ambitious. And that's who this training is for, because I'm going to give you what it takes to scale with sprints. And by the end of this, you are going to see that you have a simpler way, that scaling can be simple, that sales can be just selling, and your offers are going to feel just as good as your coaching. Your offers, getting people to say yes, is going to feel just as good to you as your coaching. If you want that, say, I want that in the chat, because that's what we're going to do today. And my goal for this training, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I want you to know a predictable, simple path to follow to create the demand for your coaching so you can go from those inconsistent months or zero some months, because we're having to replace a lot of clients because we're bringing them in with marketing methods. And there are the couple other levers we're going to talk about that we have to handle in order to keep them there. But I want to move you from 2K to 10K months to 6 figures and beyond. So put 1 in the chat if that is something that you're here for, knowing that predictable path to follow. And that path for us in our multiple 7-figure business is scale with sprints. We do sprints internally. We do them externally for people to come in and say, yes, we do it internally to serve, delight, and over deliver. We do them with our team in order to have a team experience where we really bond. So sprints are, yes, a way to scale, but they're also a way of life inside Team Irvin. And I can't wait to unpack this for you. You're also going to learn the only path to brain-based science-backed coaching method, model, and certification. So I'm going to put that out there because there is a right and a wrong way to coach. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it during this training, but really, really important in terms of up-leveling credibility, confidence, and raving fans that continue to sell for you. So that's my goal for this training. You're going to want to learn both of those things. And of course, I've got goodies for those of you who are live because I love you and I love my live people. You're my go all in people, right? And those of you watching on the replay, if you watch all the way through all three, I'm going to give you a code to send to us and we'll give this to you. Stay to the end because I'm going to give you this roadmap called 7 Ways to Monetize as a Coach. Now, you're learning a specific way, and it's also going to be one of the 7 that I use to create over $1 million in my coaching business. And I want you to have the steps because it's exactly what I wanted. And of course, I have to say, not a promise of income. I cannot promise that to you, but I have to ask a quick question. I want to get your permission on something. All right, lots of ones there. I love it. So I want your permission. And here's the thing. Who on this call, who on this training if this is your first training online you've ever done, I want you to say first. But if you've done like multiple live free trainings before, I want you to put pro. Like I'm pro. I come to a lot of these live trainings. I do a lot of these live. So either you're first timer or you're a pro. First timer or pro. Put it in the chat. First timer or pro. This is kind of lines up with the permission I'm about to ask you. So I need to know if you've done these trainings before. Yeah, so you've done them and like the typical marketing methody way is to deliver lots and lots of value and all these things and then make an offer. Yes, first one with me, Ashley. Thank you. I'm so excited you're here. So here's my ask. I have such a heart to give you what works for me. And yes, we do have an offer. If I can have your permission, can I just tell you what it is now, give you the link, and then we can get on with learning what we want to learn together so that you can make a decision somewhere along that line, whether you want to work further with us or not. What you're going to learn over the next few days is unpacking Scale with Sprints. And so if I have your permission to do that, I'd like to just go ahead and share with you the offer. There are some of you on the call right now where you're like, yes, I want this method. Yes, I want to be able to do it with you and not by myself. And so awesome. Permission granted. So I am, hitting the wrong buttons here. So I am going to tell you that it's exactly what you should probably guess is I have developed a program around what I'm teaching you the next 3 days, and it's called Scale with Sprints. And it is, the link there is scalewithsprints.com. This is something that I've only taught my certification clients up till now. And the program itself is a done with you program. Because what I see so often out there is there's these great marketing methods and then they're like, here's the thing, go. And I personally like to link arms with you, my coaches alongside of you, give you the steps, have you actually map it out with us so you can implement the darn thing with us. How's that sound? Does that sound good? So scalewithsprints.com. And there are those of you who know you also want to get certified. That link is on there. You can get more information there too. But that is the offer. I'm not going to go deep into it. That page does go deep into it. But if it's all right with you, I'd like to just jump right into the training. If you're good with it, say, let's go. Let's go, because I want to dive deep into the training with you right now. And I want you ready to go, pencils in hand, pens in hand, ready to learn. So we're going to dive in. I'm, of course, going to paint a picture for you because this is when I was sitting there with that hot mocha in my hand and I was dreaming, right? Like, wouldn't it be amazing if I could just, and this is what I want to ask you today, would it be amazing if you could just have that massive credibility as the go-to person in your niche, like the coach that everybody comes to, right? To hire you as a coach and buy your coaching programs and enroll 10 new coaching clients every single month or more, get to that 10K a month, consistently moving to that 6 figures. I remember sitting there like the blast of cold air as I'm sitting in the car and I'm thinking about there's got to be a better way to launch. There's got to be a better way to reach people and have them say yes to my coaching program. And this is what I was wanting. I just want those consistent 10K months, right? So you can have the confidence to help your clients to get 100% transformational results, create raving fans that sell your coaching business, and then scale so that you can have the freedom that you're really, if you're like me, doing it all for. I've got two kiddos. One's 15, one's 12, and thinks she's 20. I love her to pieces. And at the end of the day, our kiddos are watching us, not listening to what we have to say. When I tell them you can do anything you put your mind to, that was the most frustrating part for me. I wasn't good at manipulative selling. I wasn't good at it. Like, I didn't feel good about sleazy selling. Anybody in the chat, just say, me too. If you're like, that doesn't feel aligned with me. I'm a person of faith. Like, I love serving deeply and making a difference in people's lives. And so I just want to ask you, like, is it a deep desire of you? Yes, we got to get better at making offers, but to be done with that old broken method and like really shift your life for your kids while they're watching you. And that's the thing that just blesses my heart, is like, after all that struggle, I'll see one of my kiddos come up to me when I'm just finishing up a live and saying, like, Mom, how many people did you get to help today? She knows, because she hears my heart telling my clients, I want to see you go further than me. All right. Like, results like Barbara. Oh my gosh, y'all. Barbara came in. She came into certification where we were teaching sprints, coach launch formula, and how to coach the right way and how to get to 100% transformation. She applied the steps. She followed the steps, right? And that's the key. Is really, I'm a step-by-step girl. So in our certification, in Scale with Sprints, we line up everything step by step, because that's how our brain works, number one. And in 4 weeks, she went from being at zero to closing over $101,000 in sales. Not because she had a big team or salespeople. She was brand new into the online coaching business, but she trusted the process and saw the steps and launched like a coach. And that's kind of what she was able to do and continue to do. And now she actually coaches in our community. A lot of you might know her if this isn't your first round with us. Or Cindy. Oh my gosh, Cindy. She's a nonprofit building queen. She followed the steps as well, implemented a sprint, and launched her group coaching in 2 weeks for $24,000. And that was her first sprint. She's done multiple since then, and the girl is crushing it. So tell me, I'm curious in the chat, if you're just getting started, or if you've been coaching for a little while, which one of these gals would those results be exciting for you? Like Barbara or like Cindy? Would you like to take 4 weeks and close 101 in sales because you're following a process, or do sprints and then learn sprints so that you're really getting that compound interest in your offers, right? In your offers. So if you're brand new, I want you to say, meaning if you're being 0 or 1 years, I want you to say, I'm new. And if you're a OG, or if you've been at it for a while, 2+ years, I want you to say OG. So either you're new or you're an OG. And either way, you're either learning it the right way from the beginning so you can actually love offers as much as coaching, or you're going to be able to flip that switch and go to being able to make the consistent income time and time again, right? I love bragging about these two. So I'm going to dive deep now. Get ready. These 3 levers of a scaling coaching business. And I asked for this permission up front. So I'm going to dive right in and tell you, this is about mastery, not about learning, not about just doing. It's not about slapping a Band-Aid on. And this is what, unfortunately, a lot of times you hear in the online space. So I'm going to give it to you real. If I have permission to give it to you real, because I want to show you not only that these are the only 3 things, which is great news, but yet there is a path to get there. So number 1, coaches need to be credible. Now, what I see a lot of people trying to do is do what they're taught by marketers, which is build your social media and get to hundreds of thousands of followings and all that kind of stuff, which takes years and years and years and years and years. And some of my OGs know what I'm talking about. Like you're jumping on trends and you're like, I'm TikTok dancing because that's going to get me a client. And it feels so inauthentic, right? So coaches need to be credible. They need to know the right way to coach. And yes, there is a right and a wrong way. Coaches also need to get clients results. Do you know that nobody hires a coach wants a coach? What? Yes, nobody wants to buy coaching. What they want is the results that the coaching get, right? So coaches need to understand how to get their clients 100% results 100% of the time. This is source-based, brain-based transformation versus symptom-based shifting. So tell me in the chat, how much more confident and credible would you feel knowing that you could get your clients results every single time? And then the question I wanted to ask after that is, would you be making more offers? Let's put the word offers. Would you be making more offers if you knew 100% that you could get them the results that they're paying you money to get? Put the word offers. If you would be making just a ton more offers because of that, right? And then the key third one, coaches need to launch like a coach, not a marketer. That's what we're going to be focusing on mostly, but I am going to hit the other two because I do not believe in selling you a third of what makes it all work, right? So some of you are going to want all three of these levers to pull, and that is available for you in certification. So when you go to scalewithsprints.com and you want to really get certified, know all three, there's a link there. You can just check that out. But here's what I want to talk about. This is the difference between scaling and failing coaching business. And it's really mastery. We've got to attract our ideal clients. And I know what I just wrote here on the screen. You're like, I know that, Shannon. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I am here live, because I need to know how to do this. So that's what tends to be left out. It's like, yes, I know I need to attract, and there I could do a Facebook group. I could do a week-long challenge and try to get somebody to say yes. I could do hard summits where I'm begging people to mail for me, right? We know that one of the levers is I've got to bring people in and convert them into clients in order to start growing. What I want to shift for you today is it's actually when we believe we can get the result with a coach that we buy. So there is a brain-based process that a client goes through to get to their yes, and it is not taught in those coaching mechanisms or in those marketing mechanisms. So that's why we do it in our sprints. We launch like a coach. You're going to learn more about this arc tomorrow, but it's taking them from epiphany to a shift to a belief. And that's the ultimate definition of transformation, right? Is taking them, helping them realize something, helping them shift something that's not working, and get them completely aligned with where they're going so they make it happen. That is transformation. That arc has to happen for your clients to say yes, even to start. So for me, I'd rather align with the journey that they're going on and serve them so deeply there versus trying to manipulate them into buying. So I'm going to stop right here and I'm just going to ask you, which sounds more authentic to you? Sprints, where you're taking them on that journey, on that arc to their yes. And yes, people will go from cold to sold in those 3 days. And you'll also see tomorrow how you'll be stacking up people who are getting to that place where they will go from cold to sold. And then you're creating raving fans on the other side. So that's the sprint method, or the marketing method, which is you just try to kind of manipulate or strong arm or NLP them into saying yes. So I am going to ask, which sounds more authentic to you, more aligned to you, more dialed into who you are as a person? So answer that in the chat. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you're starting to see there can be a simple way. And that's exciting. I don't know, when I started developing what we now call a sprint. It was in effort of that pain. It was like, I don't want to feel like I'm not serving. Like I want people, but I also I tried the whole I'll just coach for free. I know I'm getting a little too close for comfort here, but I tried that method too. And the transformation is in the transaction. So people were loving being coached for free, but there was no accountability, no arc that they were going on, and no micro decisions to a yes, right? So they didn't have, there was none of that to push them toward where they wanted to go. And so they said, thank you very much, and walked away. And there we were, giving it all away for free. And that's because there's a key component in the client's brain that was missing when we were doing it for free. I know I got a little close for comfort for some of y'all. That's okay, right? That's okay. So when I was developing this, I said to my team, we were finished with a launch, and I said, you know what? My intuition's telling me I want to try something. So we just started doing the arc that I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and getting people to an epiphany, getting people to a shift, getting people to a belief, getting them to their best yes. Do you know that not every person do you want as a client? In fact, there's an important part of the arc where you take and tell the person that is not right for your coaching that this is a bad decision. So we're really taking them on this test, this arc, right? So we did the epiphany day, and then we did the shift day, and then we did the belief day. And I just said simply, and we're going to go over client-centric offers tomorrow. I just opened up a client-centric offer, and boom, like literally from 0 the week prior to 12 paying clients, to feeling like a failure, like what's wrong with me? Why can't this work? To 12 amazing people who couldn't wait to work with me. And I didn't change that much between, other than taking a stand for what I believed in how I approach it. So we've got to attract and convert ideal clients. And that's what we're talking about with Scale with Sprints. Now, we already talked about getting the credibility so you're known in your niche, so you can start to multiply your growth. And that's knowing how to coach the right way. Once you've signed your clients, coaching them the right way is vital to becoming known in your niche. And again, I'm always going to give you the whole picture. Getting your clients that 100% result 100% of the time, this is how you scale. Because what happens is you bring them in with the sprints, your credibility and confidence goes up because you're coaching them the right way. They're getting the results. They start telling everybody about you. And that's how you get that compound scaling kind of action. All right. So, truth is, and you heard me say this on the advertising, who saw the advertising where I'm saying launches suck, right? It's not that I haven't done launches in the past. It's that there's a good way and a broken way. And I'm telling you, there's such an opportunity to do it the right way, to not launch like a marketer anymore. Tell me in the chat, do you get your guard up? Even maybe coming here a little bit, guard came up because you're like, is this going to be one of those bait and switch things? Is this going to be one of those hollow things where I don't learn anything? Is this going to be right? Tell me, say yes in the chat if you're just a little bit more guarded, a little bit more like I am not sure, and you're taking a little bit more like I need to get to know and understand, right? That's why launching like a marketer is broken, right? Coaches, okay, really lean in. We're not marketing products. The whole marketing challenges, summits, all those things, it's set up to sell products. Don't you know that coaching is a vulnerable yes? Someone's having to say, I want a result and I'm not there by myself and I need some support, I need some help. Tell me if you think that's vulnerable in the chat. Nobody loves it. We all love to like, I did it and it worked and I'm amazing and we're crushing it. And the reality is we're saying, I need some support because I'm not where I want to be yet. Right. Or we might be somewhere we don't want to be and we're needing support getting rid of that. Both of those two things are very vulnerable asks. So now you see this as I'm kind of putting them against each other, doing it the way marketers teach you is like how you sell an iPhone. It's a product, and coaches aren't products. Who just had an aha? Who just had an aha? Like, no wonder this has been challenging. No wonder it hasn't felt authentic, right? So I want you to just imagine having that system that you're using monthly, even weekly, because it's such a high level of service and it's proven system to move those perfect clients from that cold place to contracted, to saying yes and making your your greatest impact like in 3 days. It's pretty powerful, right? And this is what I finally was able to give up. I don't know which one of these align with you. Tell me in the chat. But I felt like I was wasting so much time and I was duct taping together like the free plans and second guessing and doing these hard, long, inauthentic launches where I'm following a formula to manipulate people and it just was working so hard and it wasn't getting to where I wanted to go. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to get you raving fans for your coaching without all those broken coaching methods, sleazy marketing, and sales strategies. So I just need you to know I am not a special unicorn that figured this out. I am the person who had to solve my two biggest problems. I needed to know, maybe like you, like, why can't I get my business past this glass ceiling? My business was doing okay with the marketing things, but it didn't feel good and it didn't feel authentic and it was feast or famine. I would look at my bank account and I would think, how am I going to keep doing this? And then maybe we'd get, do a launch and get some in. But I was so exhausted after those things, I could barely serve anymore. Can I get a witness? We go talk a little entrepreneur church in here. And I needed to understand why I was different than my mentor. And so I had a moment when I found out I was pregnant. I don't know where my mama's at, my dad's at, people that are got nieces and nephews you care for, put it in the chat. I'm a mama, I'm a dad, I'm an auntie, whatever. So see, I really love growing my coaching business, but I also wanted more than anything to be a mama. And I found out I was pregnant. I'm sitting there on my bed, a little stick in hand, and the line was turning pink. And I said, oh my gosh, it's happening. But I had this dread that came in right after that because I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but I felt like I was hanging on in my business like by my fingernails. Maybe to the outside world, I was looking okay. But to me, I knew I was desperate for me to just get another launch to make it work. And it wasn't how I wanted it to be, right? And that's when I did what we do. I hired a mentor that seemed to have God first, family second, and businesses third, but her businesses were $1 billion businesses. And I figured, gosh, you know what? I called her up and I said, hi. I said, I'd like to work with you one-on-one. And she said, it's $50,000 for 3 months. And I went, okay. And I did the action first, ask for forgiveness later with my husband. And we've gotten past that. But and I figured I was going to find out this great strategy, this secret, right? And I found out I was doing all the same things she was doing. I sat with her. We went through strategy after strategy, tactic after tactic. But what was different was the way she thought about money, worth, serving, selling. It was then that I really realized sometimes you have to do things differently in order to have success on your terms. So I got to work kind of learning how to train my brain to think similarly. And I went so far as to get a PhD and learn how the brain allows success and learn how it stops it. That's not what we're talking about today, but just so you know who you're working with right now. I'm a master business coach for 16 years. I help 6 and 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs in the certification get to their 6-figure business and beyond. The founder of the Sync Neuro Coach model that I discovered in those certification, in those PhD rooms on how to get rid of limitations, how to really coach the right way, how to get to 100% transformation 100% of the time. I do have multiple 7-figure businesses, and I'm also the founder of a charity called Mosaic Vision. We help kids who've lost mom and dad to AIDS in Uganda, because the more impact I have, the more money that we make here, the more impact we have in Uganda. What is it for you? Here's my why. Tell me in the chat, what is the driving force behind your driving force? What is the reason behind your reason? Like, this is mine, travel and family. Like, we love to be where we want to be, experience new things, and I just want to spend it with my people, right? What is it for you? I would love to hear in the chat. Why are you wanting to grow this as quick as you can? What is it for you, right? This is my why. I got to show them. This is my amazing family. They've grown so much, but it's just really that freedom and being able to have choices, because I'm not strapped by income, and make impact because I'm put on the planet to make impact. I hope you see that today, right? And it's opened up amazing things that I want for you too. Partnerships, ability to serve on a deeper level, ability to impact bigger communities, because I stopped doing it the way everyone else was saying, the cookie cutter stamp way to do it. And I started aligning how I offered my coaching with how I make an impact, and everything shifted. And that was the birth of the sprints. And I'm just going to quickly see these things. You're going to see a little bit of this. This is what coaches do wrong when they're struggling. They chase these guru strategies, hoping they'll finally work, getting course and coach shame because we've purchased all these things, but they haven't totally worked for us, or using broken coaching methods that don't get those consistent results. This is a big one. Expecting our clients to believe in our ability a little bit more than we do. And selling and marketing like a marketer, not like a coach, and saying yes to a coaching is different. We don't want to just impact them and then leave them on the side of the road. There's that story in the Bible where, like, the guy is on the side of the road and, like, all the people that could help them are just walking on their way. And that's exactly how I've felt so many times with some of these methods that before we created the Sync Neuro Coach model and the Scale with Sprints method, we actually can move the needle for our coaching business in an authentic and genuine way. In reality, the market right now, no regulation, coaching industry has untrained coaches. There is a right and a wrong way to coach. Coaching is not what people need. I'm going to move past this. They need that transformation. And this is what's going on for your clients and also for you, that throttles your revenue potential, but it's also going on for your clients. We use old, outdated systems of coaching and selling. Did you know? And I'm not going to deep dive in this because this is a different training. We do this inside the certification, but this part of our brain, this subconscious part of our brain, runs 90% of our decisions, actions, and therefore our results. So these automations that are running 60,000 thoughts per day, not per hour, I got to change that. But these automations that are running, they're running 90% of our decisions and our actions and our results. And that is true of your client as well. So we've got to help your client move past the automations and into a place that's safe and familiar, right? Your brain wants to keep you still right where you are right now. Your reticular activating system is trying to keep you aligned with what's in automation. 90% of this is working on the subconscious level. That's why those marketing tactics feel unauthentic to you, because you kind of intuitively know that your clients have an arc. They have a journey that they need to go on. You have a journey you need to go on. And there's a subconscious process that is going on for someone to say yes. I love this picture. Now, not all of you are old enough to have used this, but this is kind of like the old versus the new. Like, it's not that the old doesn't work. You could walk into a library if this still existed and potentially find a book, but it could take hours versus just Googling the information, right? So, why do we still use old systems to sell our coaching or make offers in our coaching when a newer, faster system is available? Please hear me. I'm not saying that the other things don't work, but they're much like the difference between hopping in this Ferrari or hopping in this other mode of transportation, right? It could get you there, but your bum's going to hurt. It's going to be hard. It's going to be long. It's going to be arduous. You're going to be smelly. And it's just not as cute. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just not as authentic, genuine, and aligned, right? We've got to flip that success switch on, that switch in your brain of your clients so that they get to the yes. So that they get to the yes. They need to believe it in order to see it. Are we good on the audio and everything? I see somebody saying we're frozen, so I want to make sure we're good. So tell me we're good. All right, so I'm going to move quick. Let's keep going. I want you to attract the right clients and not the wrong ones, right? That's what we're going to do. The biggest mistake we do is jumping around to new methods instead of attracting them like a coach, right? So we've talked about this, and I don't want you to change yourself to be someone else, to follow trends and create what others are creating to make your offers. I want you to truly do what you're gifted in doing, right? And we talked about coaching being very vulnerable, right? So really being authentically you and getting them to their yes is the key. And this is what I need you to know. I'd like to make this more complicated than it is, but what's on the screen right there is the key. You got to make more coaching offers. So it just is, are you going to make those in a hard mechanism? Or are you going to make them in an aligned mechanism? And I'm curious, what did your brain give you when I said you need to make more coaching offers? What did your brain serve you? Because I think you can see at this point, it's not your fault that it hasn't gone as fast as you've wanted it to. It's the system, right? And God bless, some of the marketing gurus are my good friends, but they're only a third of the picture, right? And they're not all coaches. And so it has kind of led us astray. And before we dive into the parts of the sprint, the client attraction system and the offer system, we need to talk about this one thing, making more coaching offers, because it's the key to consistent revenue and growth. So I have a question for you. How comfortable do you feel making more offers? How comfortable do you feel making more offers? On a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable do you feel making offers? Tell me in the chat. So if we're very comfortable, put a 10 or an 8 or 9. If we're getting comfortable, but not yet, 4, 5, 6. If we're not comfortable at all, 0 to 3. Just tell me where you are in terms of that. Okay, so we've got some that are like, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 4. We've got a bunch of here. But I have a question for you. This question is not for those that are 0 to 4. This is for the 5 and up. If you knew that every time you made an offer, people would say yes, would you make more offers? Tell me in the chat. That's only for those who said 5 and above. If you knew they would say yes every time, would you be making more coaching offers? That's only for those. Yeah, so actually it's like 100%. So I love you enough to tell you that there is a belief in there, because if we aligned that we might, like, I'm making offers, and so I'm doing it. I know the doing of it, but am I aligned with it? Do I know that every time I make an offer that they're gonna say yes? And really, when the certainty happens for you first, that's where things shift, right? Selling or offers, making offers, you're going to hear me shift that language from selling to making offers, especially for tomorrow, so that you can understand that offer, client-centric offer. But it needs to come from brain-based belief. And here's the great news. That can be built. And a lot of us, well, let me ask you this. What are some of the perceptions you have around selling? Tell me in the chat. When you think about the word selling, if I said right now, go make an offer, I've got a room full of people and go make an offer, like what kind of ideas do you have around selling? Some people think that it's pushy or a little negative and uncertain on how to do it. So it makes us shrink back a little bit. What is it for you? What are some of the beliefs that you have around selling? Really, really important that we do this, right? And I love the of course I would, right? Okay, we're going to pick up speed here, but I'm wanting to show you that there are three key pieces of the offer, but we've got to shift the perception that selling or making offers is a deep level of service. And I was thinking about this today because I have an appointment with Apple to get the new phone, right? And that's a circumstance where I know I'm going in. I know that I'm wanting to buy because I've gone through the arc that we're going to take you through tomorrow. And I've already gotten to my yes. Yeah, you don't want to be sold. It needs to be genuine from a place of service. And that's exactly why the sprints are just so beautiful. Yeah, selling is leading the client to their own. Yes, but are you making offers so frequently because you know they're going to say yes, right? So watch what your brain actually believes when it comes to this, right? What's in between where you are in selling in high demand is really what you believe, and shifting that belief. Like you think about going into Apple, right? We actually just want to buy. Like I am lining up to get an appointment to go in to buy because I have gone through the process that you're going to learn tomorrow, right? I've gone through that process of making more coaching offers. A lot of times, if it doesn't work, we start creating new products, buying new strategies. We do the hope and pray method, but that's where Scale with Sprints comes in so that you can launch like a high level coach. And we do include this in the certification. And also you can see, you can get it straight out at scalewithsprints.com. So we take our audience from cold to sold in those 3 days. And it's a 3-day scaling process that serves your client to a yes instead of selling. And it's the exact same steps that I use to get to multiple millions. And it's included in the certification as well as by itself. So I'm going to stop this sharing for a second. And you should just see me now. Yeah, they're very good. Okay. Because I want to talk about these 3 pieces of the offer so that when we hit tomorrow, you're ready to go. So I want you to write this down because I think about my client, Brittany, this idea that the offer, making the offer is serving. I was working with Brittany, and Brittany is this lovely, sweet, kind, genuine coach. And she is just hesitant to make offers. So we were talking about, well, what are you going to do with them once they get in? And she started telling me, well, I'm going to take them through this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get them this result here and I'm going to save them so much time here. And then she got it. The light bulb went on. Oh my gosh, if they don't get in, they don't get served. So for your clients, offer is serving. Your offer is also safety. See, the commitment means that they're getting the transformation. When they buy, when they come in, it's a more intimate, safe area, right? So I want to shift the thinking right there. Instead of it being asking for money, we're actually asking them for a commitment. We're asking them to commit, to be safe, to be intimate, to go quickly. So the offer is serving, the offer is creating safety for them, and it's also creating certainty for them. It's they've seen you have a personal transformation. We're going to dive into these steps more in detail tomorrow. They know you've been through a process. You're going to show them proof with your clients and their journeys. And that gives them that certainty on your offer. It works for other people. It worked for you. It will work for me. It's safe. It will be in a container that I can ask questions in, and it's gonna get me to my results. And I know when Brittany started seeing it this way, she came alive in her offers. And that's what I want you to think about is sometimes we're going through the motions. Yes, we might be making offers, but because we don't feel aligned with how we're making the offers, it doesn't feel authentic. We tend to switch in or put on a mask when we get into that mode of selling. I know I did. I know I felt like I was going along and doing the thing I did, and then I would be like, and now we're going to, and I literally, my voice would go up 3 octaves. And even though I knew that I could help people, even though I knew that I could get them the results back then, I still felt that inconsistency. So your offer is serving. Your offer is safety for that client, and your offer is certainty. So I want to land the plane today with 3 key things. I want to teach you a niche grid. This niche grid is how to develop what sets you apart and makes you unique in the marketplace. I want to take you through a value matrix, which is really how you show the clients the value you provide versus someone else. And then mark down like what are the main overview of the sprint. Now, tomorrow we'll dive into the process the client goes through and really detail that out. And then on Wednesday, we're taking all those pieces and plugging them into the sprint system to map out your sprint. If you're excited, say yes in the chat, because this is honestly the biggest give I could give you. I take a stand. One of my heartbreaks before we started the certification was seeing people go get certified as a life coach, go to I don't want to say disparage anybody, but go to the federation that's, certifies coaches. And then they learn broken coaching methods and they don't learn how to actually make offers and get people in. And I just take a stand that you shouldn't be an inconsistently broke coach. And so let me get to the right place here and share my screen again, because I want to take you on this grid for your niche. Let me get that there. All right, we should be back with the slides. Can you see that fine? Just want to make sure. Absolutely, you can watch the replay to catch the rest. All right, let me get over here. Oh, I'll come back to that. Okay, so the niche grid. This is a powerful piece of the sprint. This is your identifying why the right person matters. And a lot of times coaches in general, we tend to want to help everybody. Tell me in the chat, don't you just want to help as many people as humanly possible? Just put many in there. Like, we just want to help everyone. And we have to develop this niche grid to really develop what sets us apart individually and makes my service, your service, unique in the industry. It's what sets you apart in the marketplace. And it gets you to the place where you really strongly believe. I remember when I came to this understanding that the things that I'd gone through, the experiences that I'd had, the past that I had, not just my training, not just my credentials, not just my certification, but all of me created the perfect client that I served. And so, as you can see on this niche grid, you're going to want to walk through, number one, who are you? Like, what have you gone through? What experiences have you had? What makes you want to coach? What are the great things about that? What are the hard things that you went through? So who you are really is important in unpacking your perfect person, your perfect client to do sprints with. And the second part of the grid there is the why. Why is that important? Why does it matter what you've been through? Why do you want to help them? Why is it important that you help them now? Just really get present to who you've been in the past, what's gone on, and why you are wanting to coach. And then on the bottom part of the niche grid, we start to unpack for ourselves first, which reveals our perfect niche more deeply. And a lot of you are OGs, so you know your niche, but I'm going to show you tomorrow. Knowing it through this grid helps you speak to them in such an intimate way. They feel seen, they feel heard, they feel known, and that feels safe, right? The bottom part of the niche grid is, first of all, what is it that you want? So we don't want to jump ahead to see what do our clients want before we know what we want, right? What is it that we're wanting? What, and then the break, what's getting in the way, right? What's getting in the way of that? So, because this journey is the same journey your client's going to go on. So we get to apply this first to ourselves, but then to our perfect client. So in the chat, if you already know your niche, say niche. If you don't know your niche, or you're a little unsure, or you feel like you're speaking to everyone, say general in the chat, because this is where we dial this in a little bit more. And you could start asking yourself these questions first about yourself, but then about your client. Who is this client specifically, and who are they not? Right? So you heard me saying at the beginning, like, this is for driven, ambitious, desired. You are not a victim. I was very clear that I wanted you to go if you think that you're a victim. Why? Because that's not who I serve well, right? Why do they want the result that they want? Why did you? So do you see, you're the 2.0 journey of their 1.0. You might be the 3.0 or the 10.0, but they're steps behind you. So we tend to look at just the niche or the person that we want to sell our coaching to, instead of starting with us, because we are the accelerated version of our perfect client. And then taking your niche through this grid. Who are they specifically, and who are they not? Why do they want the results that they want? What do they want? What's their desire, their dream, their desired outcome? And what's breaking it? What's getting in the way? What broken beliefs, what stops, what stucks are getting in the way? This niche grid helps you unpack clearly, so that when we go into tomorrow, when we start putting these pieces into the client-centric offer and the customer arc, you can say it with such specificity that your perfect client cannot help but lean in and learn from you and get coached by you. So who are you? Who are they, right? Who are you? Who are they? Who are you not, right? Why is it important? What is it that they're wanting? Their desire, their dream, their vision, the thing that they put their head on the pillow at night and wish it was happening. I know for us, it's that consistent income month in, month out, and having a mechanism that I can use time and time again to do it, right? And then what's blocking it? What's getting in the way? What's blocking it? What's getting in the way? So we've got some that have niche. Now, if you have a niche already, this takes it even deeper. I want you to do this niche grid and come into the Facebook group, do a live tonight, and tell me how you took your niche that you already had and what you learned by putting them through this niche grid. And those of you who are general, you're just getting started, these questions are going to start to make you make some decisions on who you want and who you don't want, who is perfect and who is less than, not in bad, but less than, right? Listen, there are perfect clients for you, and they're waiting for you, but they cannot hear you if you don't speak their language. And for those who are general or just getting started, this is vital to be heard in a loud market. All right, so that's niche grid. So tonight, I want you to go in and I want you to tell me what you took your niche through and who they are and why they want the result and what result they're wanting and what's getting in their way, and really dial in, tag me in it. So if you're not in the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group and you haven't joined this 3-day live training, make sure you do that at coachlaunchaccelerator.com. That's how you get in and you get all the goodies and you get all the replays and all that stuff. So if you're just catching this and for some reason you're not in, make sure you go to coachlaunchaccelerator.com and get signed up so you get the access to the group. All right, I want to dive into one more piece of the puzzle to set you up amazing for tomorrow's training and Wednesday's training. Remember, tomorrow is all about that client-centric offer in the client arc that we take them through in a sprint. And then on Wednesday, we're taking what we learned today and what we learned tomorrow, and we're plugging and playing into all the pieces of the sprint. So you will leave with that mapped out for you, a sprint mapped out for you. So the value matrix, a little bit different than the niche grid. The niche is more focused on who am I serving? Why am I serving them? What is it that they want and what's getting in the way, what pain, etc. The value matrix, it's how you know that what you have to offer. And you can quickly and clearly draw that perfect client to you like a magnet. It's really like when I finished up my PhD and I started using the sync model on myself. I told you from the beginning, I'm not a special unicorn. I'm just a really passionate coach that likes to serve other coaches and help certify people, help you get that result. But I remember when I knew what I did specific for me really could get a transformation, that what I did mattered. It made showing up so much more important. And there's a difference between wanting to make a result for someone and believing that you are the person to do that. So I want to share these three pieces: who you are, vulnerable to victory, and the transference of belief, because this value matrix is how you transfer over to your client that safety to walk with you as a client, right? So the first part of the matrix is who are you? Now you saw that up above and I said ask yourself first, but this is sharing with your potential client the struggles, the challenges, what you've done in your past, what's made you you. And don't you know we're like an amalgamation of all the good things and the bad things that have happened in our lives that kind of crescendo up to the point that we are right now. What I see so many coaches doing is just selling the benefit. Here's the benefit. Here's what I can help you sell. I can help you sell. I can help you in your life coaching. I can help you, right? But we're not authentically sharing who we are. And here's what I want you to know. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So we're leaving out a big chunk of what makes us most valuable in the marketplace, because your vibe attracts your tribe. When your potential clients are listening to you tell your story, and I'm curious, anybody, when I was telling my story about the times that I was struggling and feeling those ways, tell me in the chat, just say aligned. If you felt for a moment that you saw yourself in those stories, that you were aligned with me, like that there was this, like, oh, me too. Yeah, I felt that. I've done that. I've experienced that. Say me too in the chat. So that you can see, like, we've been taught through the marketing methods to just be the expert. But unfortunately, in this day and age, be the expert is unsafe to your potential buyer. And that's the opposite of what we're taught. We're taught be the perfect expert, make it all perfect, be the one that they go to because you're so smart. I don't know about you, but that's a hard facade to keep going for a really long time. But when I can share, I've struggled. I had stepbrothers that didn't like me and made me feel less than, and I had to really get into the place where their criticisms wouldn't impact me anymore, and I had to believe that I had value in that journey that I went on. When I share these parts of who I am and what led me to becoming a coach, and then led me to go get a PhD and learn how the brain aligns and how it allows success and how it doesn't, and certify people in that model. I don't want to just talk about those top end things. I want to talk about what happened underneath. So who are you, right? And vulnerable to victory is like, where have you been, the vulnerability, but how you've overcome. Because you give your perfect client this journey that it's not only possible, but they see themselves in that journey of yours, even though they haven't experienced the same things. We need to help them see that there's a path, that you were vulnerable just like they are now, but there is a victory coming. And what happens in your clients' hearts and your clients' minds is another layer of safety, another layer of she's walked through this, she can help me, right? And then the third piece is that transference of belief, because your client doesn't have the result yet. And until they start working with you, and those of you who go on to get certified, you'll learn how to get this 100% transformation 100% of the time. But to transfer belief, they've got to believe it enough that you can get them there. So when you share what you've overcome and what you've created that solves your problem, this is the transference of belief. So I want you tonight, when you're doing the niche grid, I want you to also do the value matrix. Sit down and talk on a piece of paper. I just want you to write, like, who am I? Like, what have I been through? Where have I been? That vulnerable to victory story. Start to write those things down, because this is going to be plug and play as we start to build out the sprint, right? What have you overcome and created and solved in your problem, so you can transfer that belief? Because here's what is vital that I learned, and I want you to know too, is the transformation starts with a transaction. That selling is serving. Making offers creates that safety, right? Creates all of those benefits for your client. So we're going to wrap up today. Those are the two things I want you to do tonight. And we're going to pop in to the Facebook group a little bit of a workbook for you to be able to do that. But you can just do it on a piece of paper. I want to wrap with, what is a sprint? I imagine you're asking yourself, like, Shannon, I see it and I understand how it's different. And I understand a little bit more now what journey we're taking our people on. But what is a sprint? I wanted to share that with you. And then I'm going to wrap us on a video, because I think the video is going to actually really help you see what a sprint is going to do for you and for your client. But really, a sprint is, I talked about how I uncovered the sprint, right? Really going from these hard launches where I'd get some results, but then it would be back down to zero again, and how horrible that felt, looking at my bank account going, well, I've got to do another launch again, or I'm not going to have any income. And that roller coaster ride, up and down and up and down. Now, the ups were fun, but I knew the down was coming. And just with my team sitting there going, let's do something where we take them in the path that their brain needs to. So it's a 3-part or a 3-session, 3 specific times. You can do them all together. You can do them over 3 days. You can do them in 3 parts. They can be done a bunch of different ways. And we're going to decide that tomorrow, how you're going to go about it. But it's a process of taking your ideal clients from unconsciously aware and not knowing the solution to that yes. So moving your ideal client, the niche grid, through the 3 main brain-based decisions they must take to say yes to your coaching, right? So we're going to dive deep into those tomorrow, and I'm going to wrap with a video that I want you to see. Tomorrow, we're calling it the anti-launch. We're mapping your client's journey so they can say cold to actually heck yes in 3 days. We're going to help you stop chasing all the other strategies, right? And we're going to go through the client arc, the client-centric offer. So you will feel so good by tomorrow knowing exactly how to make an offer if you're in an elevator, or if you are in a live event or speaking from stage, or whichever way you're doing it, because a client-centric offer is key piece of the sprint. And you'll be able to take that tool with you wherever you go. And then we're going to map out, make some decisions around what sprint you're going to do. And we're going to choose your sprint tomorrow. And then heading into Wednesday's training, we will have all those pieces to be able to plug into the Scale with Prince Sprints Coaches Closing System. All right. So as we're wrapping up here, I want to pop a video in. Hang on 1 second. I'm just going to sneak past these. Hold on. Let me unshare. Let me stop sharing for a minute and pull it up so I don't take you through that journey. Hold on. Thanks for bearing with me. There it is. Okay. All right. Thanks for bearing with me. Technology sometimes doesn't work, and I wanted to be able to make sure you saw this. All right. So, what I'm showing you, now I told you what sprints were. 3 simple parts, taking your client on that client arc so that they go through the 3 decisions they must make to say a yes with your client-centric offer involved in it, right? And we talked about all of the pieces, the importance of selling, not thinking that selling is sleazy, but selling is serving. We went through a lot today, getting you prepped to start plug and play. But I want you to see what's happening in your client's brain when this happens. Because I am brain-based, science-backed, and I'm a God girl. So when I see the steps that are happening inside a brain, it's pretty powerful. So I'm going to show this to you right now. That's just a normal thought, one that has to jump a synaptic gap. But that is an automated thought. That's one that's gone into the subconscious. And you see those 3 circles? Those 3 circles are thoughts becoming completely erased through the neurocoaching model and the success switch method. They will never be there again. That is the power of the success switch method and the neurocoaching model. So in that video, I'm talking about the model, but that model is baked into the entire Scale with Sprint system. So I wanted you to see what's happening when your perfect client comes to that decision and it starts to get automated and they get to their yes. I want you to start to see the power of actually using your God-given gifts as an impactor, as someone who coaches, as somebody who's going to change people's lives, to truly help someone go on that path to their yes, deeply serving them with your offer and getting them over that line where they get the results and they become raving fans. All right, a lot today. So make sure you get into the Facebook group. If you haven't yet, introduce yourself. Niche grid, value matrix tonight. I want you to go, and once you've done them, come on and talk about them. Tell me your ahas. Tell me how you've taken it deeper. Tomorrow, we're back at the same exact time, 12 p.m. Central, where we're going to be mapping out your client's journey, that client-centric offer and the client arc, and choosing your sprint. And we're going to start to map it out. I can't wait for it. And then, of course, day 3, we're going to be plugging and playing and walking out with that sprint map. I've loved being with you today. As this training has been valuable to you today, in the chat, I would love for you to give like 10 out of 10. Like, how has this landed for you today? I know a lot of this is something that you haven't heard in the marketplace so much. And I would just make sure that today, as we set the stage, as we kind of talk through the different components that we must do to get to that place, I am I'm thrilled to be able to give you a system that's going to align so much with how you're already wired to serve. Because then no matter if you're making offers or coaching, you're going to be in authenticity. And let's just be real, when we're in our authentic self day in and day out, that allows us to just really feel like we're doing what we're put on the planet to do. So I'm so excited to have it. Of course, I told you about the offer. Scalewithsprints.com is where you go take a look at that. I wanted to be just, here it is. Here's the offer. We'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow. We've talked about certification that is able to get to from that page too. See you tomorrow. Get ready tonight. Make sure you tag me in the group because I look at every single post. And by the way, we always give goodies away to fast action takers in the group. I'm just saying. So make sure you're getting out there, doing the actual implementation, because it's the implementation that helps you get the acceleration. All right. Love being with you live today. I will be back with you tomorrow and Wednesday. Make sure that's scheduled in your schedule, because I don't want you to miss anything. This is a labor of love, and I cannot wait for you to unpack it all. All right. I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Bye for now.